Revelation 2064. From the 10th of September 1941. State of death on earth and in the hereafter. Inactivity. Everything changes and nothing remains as it is. Consequently, everything that creation contains is also alive. On the other hand, there is a state that can rightly be called lifeless. This is the spiritual standstill that can be found where materialism prevails. There, lively earthly activity can be recognized, but spiritual activity is switched off. And the consequence of this is that every further development of the soul is impossible, thus the soul remains in the same state it was in before. But inactivity is a sign of death. What is dead is motionless, it is, as it were, without any life. It is something worthless that is without purpose and goal and therefore remains unnoticed. However, one cannot speak of a dead being per se, for as long as the strength flows from God to a work of creation, the ability to live is also in it. But God does not withdraw this strength from a being even though it does not use it according to divine will. But God withdraws his love from a spiritually inactive being, and this results in standstill, and a cooling of divine love has the effect of hardening the spiritual. This fate is unspeakably sad, for only the state of uninterrupted activity is blissful, whereas remaining in the same external form is depressing, and even more depressing when the being discards its external form and enters the spiritual kingdom and no longer has the opportunity to be active. When it is forced into a lifeless state through its own fault. The being can remain in this state for eternities without help being brought to it because it is obdurate and rejects all help. Thus if it does nothing to end the state of inactivity, the being will not feel this dead state in earthly life because earthly activity does not let it recognize the spiritually dead state. Consequently, it will not be remedied either since the being lacks the will. And if the being's will is already bound on earth, it is even more so in the beyond. There it can be given advice from all sides. The being also lacks the strength to want. It is apathetic or completely obdurate. Both, however, characterize remoteness from God and thus the bound, unfree state which expresses itself in inactivity and lack of will. This is the state of death, of darkness, in contrast to the state of life, which is the brightest light of eternity and means unceasing activity. Amen.